Let me share with you my personal story on how dropshipping has completely changed my life from being a normal 16-year-old kid, hood rat on the streets with a 9-to-5 job causing trouble, to then being able to generate over multiple $1 million in revenue through dropshipping. What's poppin', people? It's your boy the Beast of Ecom, and I am back with another video, dropping nothing but you already know, value bombs. So in today's video, I wanted to share with you guys my personal story on how I've been able to go from, being a normal kind of 16-year-old, 18-year-old kid on the streets causing kind of trouble, to then getting a normal 9-to-5 job, to then completely being introduced to dropshipping and, scaling to multiple millions of dollars in revenue through dropshipping. Now, as an entrepreneur, I've had ups and downs, and I want to share with you guys the whole process and share with you guys those stories in this video today. So make sure you watch all of this video, and I think it's important that, I share my personal story with you guys to, first and foremost, relate to a lot of people out there who may not be getting the success that they're having right now, and also to inspire you guys to actually take action and know that you can do and achieve anything that you want. So let me take you back way before I even knew what the hell dropshipping was, because that's pretty much where the story starts. Now, obviously, I always wanted, growing up, I always wanted to have, wealth and money and time, location, and buy nice things and go nice places, because who kind of doesn't? So I've always kind of wanted and had that kind of ambition to do something. Now, I'm not from a rich family whatsoever, I'm not silver spoon fed or whatever they want to call it. I was pretty much a C grade student throughout all of my education. So C grade in the UK is kind of like average. It goes from A, B, and C. I was pretty much GCSEs, just got all C's, and, in A levels as well, just all C. So I kind of barely just scraped through all of my education. Now, growing up, I either wanted to be a footballer or a business owner. Those were the only two things that I could see myself doing. Now, I was okay at football, but obviously, it's very hard to become a professional footballer nowadays, and it is kind of like, being at the right place at the right time and getting scouted. But once I kind of got to university, football kind of took a side step, and then it was kind of like business what I wanted to kind of get into. So growing up from 16 to 18, I kind of got hanging around with the wrong sort of people. They were my friends, don't get me wrong, but education wasn't really what they wanted to do. They didn't really want to go to university either. So as a teenager, I just started hanging out real late on the streets, causing trouble, running up and down here and there, and that was kind of what I was doing throughout those kind of ages. Now, I did end up going to university, and I studied business and management. And that was kind of like a natural progression, because if I wasn't going to be a footballer, then I wanted to be a business owner. So that's the reason why I chose business as a degree. Now, education is fantastic, and I do believe that you do need to have a formal education. However, self-education is 10x better than any formal education that you can get, and I'm a firm, obviously, believer of that. So I had my formal education, but I knew that I had to do something to self-educate myself if I wanted to be an entrepreneur and have that business and buy those things that I always wanted. So my side hustle throughout university was buying and selling on eBay. So what I would do is I'd sell snapback hats, a bit like this one. I'd sell shisha pens. I'd sell gym clothing, all sorts of things on eBay. That was kind of like my hustle. I didn't even know what the hell dropshipping was at this point. I mean, they made a little bit of money, but they weren't anything to kind of phone home and say, Mama, I made it. It was just kind of like pocket money here and there. But nevertheless, they didn't work out. I had a few suppliers that turned a bit rogue because I was importing from the States, and because I was focused on my degree and education, I just didn't have the time to put any effort into it and scale it any further. So once I graduated university, it was then kind of crunch time. And a lot of people watching this video may be in this situation where you're in education, you're at university, you're at college, and you're getting to the end of your educational years, and then after that you're kind of just plonked into the big wild world. And I didn't want to have a normal 9-to-5 job. I couldn't see myself doing that, and of course I didn't have the experience, or I didn't even have a business idea at the time to then just jump straight into and start getting on with things. So I was kind of stuck in the middle of what do I do? But unfortunately, of course, I had bills to pay, and I wanted to go out on the weekend and all that sort of stuff. So I just had to go out and get just a normal 9-to-5 job. Now, the job wasn't fantastic at all, and it ended pretty badly, which I'll come on to. But every night at the job, I think I was probably earning around 16k, so £16,000, which is probably about $18,000 to $19,000 a year. So again, it wasn't crazy. I wasn't making crazy money whatsoever. But every night I'd come home, and I didn't enjoy it whatsoever, but every time I'd come home and just pretty much just do what a lot of people do, is Google how to make money online, and every night I'd Google how to make money online, and I'd looked into everything from affiliate marketing to Forex, just something that I could basically do online, which didn't need me to trade a hell of a lot of time, because I didn't want to keep trading my time for money. So I needed to find an opportunity that I could basically do online and still be able to travel and make money. So I frequently used to visit a website called Black Hat Forum, and if you're not familiar with it, it's just a website where people post a load of different things to do with online and internet marketing. And there was a forum post on there about how this guy had made around about $10,000 per month drop shipping free things. Now, of course, that was free plus shipping back then, but it completely blew my mind on how on earth he was doing it. So I read the forum post from top to bottom, and basically then was when I discovered what dropshipping was, what Shopify was, and what Facebook ads were. So what I did was I looked through the whole post, and he detailed how he was doing it, how he was setting up a Shopify store, and how he was finding the products on AliExpress, and obviously really cheap products on AliExpress, and using Facebook adverts to then sell them at a same markup, little small drop shipping products, because they were used at the time, he was selling them for free because they were doing free plus shipping. So of course I thought, hey, this must be easy. All I got to do is get an AliExpress account. I got to get a Facebook account. I got to get a Shopify account, run some adverts. Bob's your uncle. I'm buying a Lambo. So what I did, of course, was I set up a Shopify store, and my first ever store was a niche store. It was based around selling nail products. I'll put a few pictures up on the screen of what sort of nail products I was selling. Real, stuff that didn't have any wow factor. They weren't winning products whatsoever. However, I didn't know that at the time. And basically, I set everything all up. I was super excited, and all I need to do was put my adverts live. And of course, I went to bed thinking about what kind of Lamborghini I'm going to buy, where I'm first going to take my private jet to, and all these sorts of things that you start to think of when you come across a new business opportunity. And of course, woke up, no sales whatsoever. So I thought, okay, cool. Let me keep spending some money. I was seeing the traffic count going up, but no sales were coming in whatsoever. So I spent around $800 before I even got my first sale through dropshipping and Facebook adverts, and I remember it like it was yesterday. It's the best feeling ever, and no doubt if you're watching this video and you have had your first sale, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. However, if you haven't, then don't worry, when it comes, it will be the best feeling ever. But I was sitting there, and obviously I had the notifications on. I remember my phone just dinging, and it said so and so from XYZ has bought a product, and literally it was only probably about $15, if that. And I was going absolutely crazy. People thought I was absolutely mental. Now, bearing in mind, I was completely in the red at this point. I'd spent $800 and, of course, made 15 bucks back, right? In the red. But it validated the whole system. It meant that dropshipping worked. It meant that Facebook ads worked. It meant that the whole system worked. And all of the screenshots I was seeing of these guys doing $1,000 a day, $10,000 a day were real. It just meant that I had to get better at Facebook ads. I just had to get better at the whole system. And then, of course, I'd be able to achieve those goals. Now, I knew I couldn't do it with this nail store. It just, didn't have that kind. The products just weren't working. They just weren't scalable to that level. They didn't have any wow factor, which I didn't realize at the time. And a lot of people were talking about, these general stores. And that's when I came across the whole general store concept, which again, at that point was completely new to me. And I was seeing all these sorts of different products that I wanted to test, but my site was completely pink, and, it was selling just nail products. It just weren't meant to be. So what I did was I completely shut the store down, and then I started my general store. Things turned bad at that time for me personally, and I got fired from my job that I was working at. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I was sitting down, I got called into the office, and they said that they basically didn't need my services anymore. The job post had pretty much become redundant, and obviously, don't come in next Monday because there's no longer position for you. So of course, when I was thrown into that position, I was $800 down. I'd only made one sale with dropshipping. I've got no income. I'm a graduate, but I've got no income whatsoever. So what do I do next? So after being down for a few days, because no one likes to get sacked from a job, it was kind of like, okay, cool, I need to go and get another job, because again, I've got bills to pay. I do want to go out and do things. I just had to go get another job. So what I did was I went and got another 9-to-5 job. But at that point, of course, I was still having my dropshipping store, mid-process build at that time. But it was coming to the point where I wanted to test these products. I had a really good feeling about it. And at this point, it was where my whole life changed. I totally submerged myself inside of this whole world of e-commerce and dropshipping. And the first month with my dropshipping store, the general one, I made no money. But the second month, I then made $400. And then the month after that, I made $14,000. And then the month after that, I made $41,000. And it was starting to blow my mind at how effective and how crazy this whole world can be in terms of completely changing your life. Along the process, you start hitting milestones, and then you start having your first $1,000 a day. And if you don't know what that screenshot is, it's the Shopify app, way before all of the changes. So I have been in this game for quite some time. So you then start doing $1,000 a day, then $5K a day, then $10K a day, then 20, then 30, then 40, and things just start to explode, and you're always trying to hit that next goal. By the way, if you are enjoying this video, then make sure you subscribe to the channel, and of course hit that notification bell so that you stay up to date with all of my latest content. My routine at this time was absolutely relentless. So what I'd do is I'd wake up in the morning at 7:30, I'd get to work for 8:30, I'd work from 8:30 till 5. I'd come home, I'd sleep because I'd be so tired from the night before. I'd wake up, I'd eat, and then from around about 8 p.m. to about 1 a.m., 2 a.m., sometimes 3 a.m. in the morning, I'd be working on my stores. Now, everything was going great. Everything was on the rise. I'd outsourced a few things, and I was still working my 9-to-5 job. However, what was about to happen completely threw everything off course. So I was on vacation or holiday, whatever you want to call it, to Croatia. And I remember getting a phone call from PayPal. Now, every time I've got PayPal stored in my phone as PayPal pickup in capitals, because I know every time they call me, something bad has gone down in my account, right? So I actually missed the call. And what I done instantly was I checked my email, because what they always do is if you miss the call, they'll fire you an email over to say, whatever the bad news is. Now, when I opened the email, my heart nearly stopped and I completely couldn't believe what was going on. So the email read that they had put a collateral reserve on my PayPal account and they are holding I think it's either $70,000 or $80,000 of my money in their account, right? Frozen, couldn't do anything with it. On top of that, they had placed a 70% rolling reserve on the account, meaning every time I'd make a sale, they'd take 70% of it for I think it was either 120 days or 180 days. It basically meant that my store was impossible to operate. Now, I did have to go back and forth with PayPal and eventually got the account back. And I did shoot a whole video explaining this whole scenario. I'll leave a link in one of the top corners so that you can check out that video. So it came the time where I finally had to take the leap into being a full-time, quote unquote, laptop lifestyle, or, start my full entrepreneurship journey. So what I did was I handed in my resignation and, started my whole journey. Now, I could have done this a lot sooner because there was times where I was making more, my stores were making more money than the business was that I was working for because it was a small company. But to be fair, I like the guy and, I'm not a bad person. I didn't really kind of want to leave him in the shit. So I stuck it out and we kind of left on amicable terms. So now I'm full-time e-commerce. I've been able to surpass multiple milestones, $1 million in a month, 6 figures, per month consistently. And of course, I've been able to now help people like yourself, do exactly the same thing. So my YouTube channel, which was totally a new thing to me. This time around last year, we was at 110 subscribers, I think. We're now at over 30,000 subscribers. So it just shows what you can do when you put hard work in and you stay dedicated. The beauty of e-commerce is it allows you to travel. This year, I've already been to 5 different countries and it's going to be 6 when I travel to LA for my event and for my mastermind that I'm speaking at in LA. So it's a fantastic thing when you start having those successes. And this is what I want to kind of inspire you guys to be able to do yourself, because we live in a world now and a time at the moment in time where we can achieve anything we want with just internet connection and a laptop. Now, don't get me wrong, being an entrepreneur is never rosy 24/7, 365, right? Even to this day, we still deal with ups and downs such as, banned ad accounts or banned business managers. But the most important thing, I show up every single day. And this is what I want to tell you guys, that you just have to show up every single damn day. So to sign off, if you have made it to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you very much. I do very much appreciate you listening to my story. Of course, if you're not a subscriber, make sure you do subscribe and put the notification bell on. Remember, success comes from getting out of your comfort zone. You can't be in a comfort zone and expect to have great results. You have to step out of your comfort zone to have those successes. So that's my story. I hope you find it inspiring, because I know a lot of people can relate to these things. You may be in one of these positions right about now. So just to let you know that there is light at the end of the tunnel if you just keep on going. I will be doing a giveaway in my next video because we have hit 30,000 subscribers and it is my birthday this week. I won't tell you which day because I've got something very special offer coming for you guys. But if you do want to be notified on when that goes live, then make sure you click the link down below, sign up, and you'll be notified as soon as that goes live. Finally, comment down below where you want to be this time next year. Make yourself accountable, and then what you can do is come back to this video a year later and see if you achieved what it is you set out to do. Make sure you like, comment, and of course smash that subscribe button. That is all for me. Thank you for listening. Peace out. Take care.